There's lots of ways to look at that. So basically we use water in beef production to grow forage and to grow some of the feed that we add to the diet at certain stages of their production. Obviously cattle are going to drink water from various sources, and then we use water as well in meat processing, which a lot of that water is actually recycled at the level of the packing plant. But we might ask, well, where does the water come from? And that's a very good question. There's a lot of different ways of looking at this and analyzing it. But let's just look at forage. Majority of the cattle's diet throughout its life comes from grass and things that they eat out on the pasture. That's basically rainfall that falls right there in that ecosystem. It's not really lost. I mean, it's not competing with us for water use. You know, there's grass in a pasture, that water's not available for your faucet when you turn it on. Some people might call that green water. I've seen it called that. They will consume some water drunk from wells pumped out of the ground. There will be water pumped out of the ground to irrigate certain crops, or some cropland, and some forage land is irrigated. But as a percentage of the water that's used in cattle, that's really pretty small. So some people might call that blue water. And then again, I mentioned the water that's used in processing. So the majority of forage, byproduct, and even a lot of the grain that they consume comes from rainfall. You know, there's only about 15% of the corn grown in the United States is actually irrigated. So, you know, 85% of the corn that's grown is actually grown from rainfall. So basically we're capturing rainfall that's really not competing with humans because it's not being pumped out of the ground or diverted in a river or anything like that. So to answer that question, some of the better sources that I would find that have actually gone and looked at this question, from the time a calf is born to the time he's harvested, counting his mother's water use and the bull's water use and all the things that go into producing that calf carcass at slaughter, from the time that calf is born to the time he's harvested takes about 421 gallons of water to produce 1 pound of boneless trimmed beef.